you finish last place. The world show me one way, I'ma go my own. Ride my own, ay, 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 ay. Ride my own, ay, 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 ay. Ride my own, ay, 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 ay. Ride my own, ay, 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 ay. Hey, Kelly Slater with the way that I ride to be, we never falling off. Yeah, revolutionary music, we throwing these bars like a Molotov. Yeah, killing with kindness, my wisdom, my weapon, my power is truth. I've seen the way that you rap and you live, and I know that authentic means nothing to you. Oh, you know what that means? Your team is taking more L's than the DNC. I'm making rappers abort their careers, my verses are something like Plan B. Just because I got opinions, I know some people can stand me. Trolling on me with your minions, we gon' shit that like the Grammys. Yeah, drop on the move, we're cranking that music, I'm on the way. Hey, got Mexican blood on my veins, so I'm working like underlay, yeah. Call me crazy, but I'm stressing the message way more than a sound. Government trying to build walls, but we out in the culture just tearing them down. So don't believe everything somebody happens to write on the internet. Yeah, any tribe just for independent thinking, buddy, we've been a threat. Yeah, word to my people in prison, I know that my sin just is deadly. Yeah, we gon' be here when you get out as brothers in Christ when you ready. The scene is getting crowded, I'ma ride my own way. I don't need your approval, I'ma go my own way. My daddy told me to be first, you finish last place. The world show me one way, I'ma go my own. Ride my own, ay, 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 ay. Ride my own, ay, 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 ay. Ride my own, ay, 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 ay. Ride my own, ay, 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 ay.
But I look like riding mortal waves. God could flood the earth for 40 days. Send it up to show me your remains. Watch the haters wash away with time. Narrow gate could take me up the Broadway. Seen them swagger jack the flow in broad day. Just to think they mess with me the long way. Think they'll get away with taking mine. I can't do it, I've been through it, I've been learning, I'm a student, I can't never let them plant me, wanna hook, better pay me cause half the freshmen ain't fresh, I might never enroll, heard they song and said, hey, time to switch up my flow, I don't need opinions, I do my own when in wrong, I talk to God on a daily, I don't need you to condone, he said I'm walking like Peter, we might be on the same boat, I gave my life to the Lord, and now I write with a sword, and I've been living ever since I gave my life. And I can't let nobody tell me wrong from right. I got an itching for the finer things in life. If it ain't with him, then this life just won't suffice. Give me Christ like,
The scene is getting crowded, I'ma ride my own way. I don't need your approval, I'ma go my own way. My daddy told me to be first, you finish last place. The world show me one way, I'ma go my own. Ride my own, ay, 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 ay. Ride my own, ay, 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 ay. Ride my own, ay, 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 ay. Ride my own, ay, 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 ay.
If I take you down, would you really hold me down and be your best friend? She just wanna hit me with a quickie by the pool and I'm like, yes, ma'am. Got me fiending for your body, you might turn me to a yes man. Oh yeah, 80 and I'm 40, I'm a nervous bitch, I'm flyer than your ex man. We ain't gotta go outside. Two-step in the rain, wake up by my side. Don't care what you think. Oh, you just my type. Oh yeah, she know the deal like an old script. You ain't the first to really sell that shit. Champagne with the roof gone. Bump this jam back in Tucson. Think I got to get a move on. Never had much to lose, but you could do better with me in the middle of the road, the back of the Jeep. So baby, let's not talk about it, but I gotta know. If I take you down, would you really hold me down and be your best friend? She just wanna hit me with a quickie by the pool and I'm like, yes ma'am. Well, you got me fiending for your body, you might turn me to a yes man. Oh yeah, 80 and I'm 40, I'm a nervous bitch, I'm flyer than your ex, man. Why you act so extra? Let me in your section. Running through my mind, we got a connection. Back home ain't the same, your pop's drinking all the time. You just wanna get away, come hop up in my ride. Two goofies on the run, couple 40s in the backseat. Spirits in my lungs, got my voice a little raspy. Turn me to a yes, man. Before we do this, girl, I got a question. If I take you down, would you really hold me down and be your best friend? She just wanna hit me with a quickie by the pool and I'm like, yes, ma'am. got me fiending for your body. You might turn me to a yes man. Oh yeah. 80 and I'm 40, I'm a nervous bitch, I'm flyer than your ex, man. Oh, yeah, flyer than your ex, like oh my god. Ride into your legs, like oh my god. And let's go on a date, like oh my god. When I'm back from LA, like oh my god, yeah. She still think it's odd, yeah. I got all these fans, she's the only one I want, yeah. Impress me with your mind, I might turn you to a mom, yeah. You might get a pension if you work it for me long, yeah. It's gonna be a long, yeah. I don't know how they get like that. Recognize my wrongs and get them fixed like that. Booming through my city with my people all around. Is you coming with me or you staying on the ground, yeah? Yes or no, how'd it go? Where your man? Do you got one on the low? Oh, you do? How'd I know? Born in 1994, you still a scrub, but I still don't think you notice how to love. But I gotta know that if I take you down, would you really hold me down?
Crooked like the left finger on ET. Please believe me, this be the realest thing I ever wrote. Right after talking to Pop, puffing on heavy smoke. Laugh now, cry later. My only dream in life was to rock a mic up in front of you spectators and rock shell toes, not gators. Show love, not haters. I'm switching over like crossfaders to a better time and place where it's safe. And they can't judge a nigga by the color of his face, but by the content of the way that I spit these letters. I'm kicking it with white boys in old Navy sweaters. Ball cap low on my eye, cause sometimes I'm listening to my style so much, I'm just trying to get by, I'm just saying. For real, I'm just saying.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you all out to a musical extravaganza called the Night and Day Project. Please save your applause to the end.
I'm in the AC, cooler than I ever was. I went from bubbling to a better buzz. Hey, check this, cuz I did it with no airplay. Wild out in the lot, well, that's hearsay. I'm just trying to do my thing, shine like a star. Skills in the place, banner, you know who we are. I'm Nike, that's Nate, you know K9. I already said my name, I just say the rhyme. Take it to the next level, beat him with a shovel. Dig his own grave for him, make him meet the devil. I play the villain, man, you can play the good fella. Nice guys finish last, you ain't even passed the class. Matter of fact, you ain't even studied for it. Rapping just your hobby, man, you trying to get some money for it? Yeah, I'm just setting the standard. They can't do what I do, man, and you can't stand it. Bring the hi-hat. It's what I call my bougie flow, man. It means I'm too funky, fresh, and fly to be hanging out with you lames. I can do this with my eyes closed and my hands tied behind my back, you dig? I used to do this for a living, I just do it cause I love living. You don't hear me though. Hear me though.
baby, we never falling off. Yeah, revolutionary music, we throwing these bars like a Molotov. Yeah, kill 'em with kindness, my wisdom, my weapon, my power is truth. I've seen the way that you rap and you live, and I know that authentic means nothing to you. Oh, you know what that means? Your team is taking more L's than the DNC. I'm making rappers abort their careers, my verses are something like Plan B. Just because I got opinions, I know some people can stand me. Trolling on me with your minions, we gon' shit that like the Grammys. Yeah, tribe on the move, we're cranking that music, I'm on the way. Hey, got Mexican blood on my veins, so I'm working like underlay, yeah. Call me crazy, but I'm sure sending a message way more than a sound. Government trying to build walls, but we out in the culture just tearing them down. So don't believe everything somebody happens to write on the internet. Yeah, any tribe just for independent thinking, buddy, we've been a threat. Yeah, word to my people in prison, I know that my sin just is deadly. Yeah, we gon' be here when you get out as brothers in Christ when you ready. The scene is getting crowded, I'ma ride my own way. I don't need your approval, I'ma go my own way. My daddy told me to be first, you finish last place. The world show me one way, I'ma go my own. Ride my own, ay, 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 ay. Ride my own, ay, 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 ay. Ride my own, ay, 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 ay. Ride my own, ay, 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 ay.
But I look like riding mortal waves. God can flood the earth for 40 days. Centered up to show me your remains. Watch the haters wash away with time. Narrow gate could take me up the Broadway. Seen them swagger jack the flow in broad day. Just to think they mess with me the long way. Think they'll get away with taking mine.
I can't do it, I've been through it, I've been learning, I'm a student, I can't never let them plant me, wanna hurt, better pay me cause half the freshmen ain't fresh, I might never enroll, heard they song and said, time to switch up my flow, I don't need opinions, I do my own when in Rome, I talk to God on the daily, I don't need you to condone, he said I'm walking like Peter, we might be on the same boat, I gave my life to the Lord, and now I write with a sword, and I've been living ever since I gave my life. And I can't let nobody tell me wrong from right. I got an itching for the finer things in life. If it ain't with him, then this life just won't suffice. Give me Christ like,
The scene is getting crowded, I'ma ride my own way. I don't need your approval, I'ma go my own way. My daddy told me to be first, you finish last place. The world show me one way, I'ma go my own. Ride my own, ay, 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 ay. Ride my own, ay, 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 ay. Ride my own, ay, 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 ay. Ride my own, ay, 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 ay.
If I take you down, would you really hold me down and be your best friend? She just wanna hit me with a quickie by the pool and I'm like, yes, ma'am. Got me feeling for your body, you might turn me to a yes man. Oh yeah. 80 and I'm 40, I'm a nervous bitch, I'm flyer than your ex man. We ain't gotta go outside. Two-step in the rain. Wake up by my side. Don't care what you can say. Oh, you just my type. Oh yeah, she know the deal like an old script. You ain't the first to really sell that shit. Champagne with the roof gun. Bump this jam back in Tucson. Think I got to get a move on. Never had much to lose, but you could do better with me in the middle of the road or the back of the Jeep. So baby, let's not talk about it, but I gotta know. If I take you down, would you really hold me down and be your best friend? She just wanna hit me with a quickie by the pool and I'm like, yes ma'am. Well, you got me feeling for your body, you might turn me to a yes man. Oh yeah. 80 and I'm 40, I'm a nervous bitch, I'm flyer than your ex, man. Why you act so extra? Let me in your section. Running through my mind, we got a connection. Back home ain't the same, your pop's drinking all the time. You just wanna get away, come hop up in my ride. Two goofies on the run, couple 40s in the backseat. Spirits in my lungs, got my voice a little raspy. Turn me to a yes, man. Before we do this, girl, I got a question. If I take you down, would you really hold me down and be your best friend? She just wanna hit me with a quickie by the pool and I'm like, yes, ma'am. Well, you got me feeling for your body, you might turn me to a yes, man. Oh yeah. 80 and I'm 40, I'm a nervous bitch, I'm flyer than your ex, man. Flyer than your ex, like, oh my god. right into your legs like, oh my God. And let's go on a date like, oh my God. When I'm back from LA like, oh my God, yeah. She still think it's odd, yeah. I got all these fans, she's the only one I want, yeah. Impress me with your mind, I might turn you to a mom, yeah. You might get a pension if you work it for me long, yeah. It's gonna be a long, yeah. I don't know how they get like that. Recognize my wrongs and get them fixed like that. Booming through my city with my people all around. Is you coming with me or you staying on the ground, yeah? Yes or no, how'd it go? Where your man? Do you got one on the low? Oh, you do? How'd I know? Born in 1994, you still a scrub, but I still don't think you notice how to love. But I gotta know that if I take you down, would you really hold me down? I'd be your best friend. She just wanna hit me with a quickie by the pool, and I'm like, yes, man. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. The way you got me feeling for your body, you might turn me to a yes, man. I'm a nervous bitch, I'm flyer than your ex-man. I'm flyer than your next man. I'm flyer than your...
From the top. Okay. Drop that. Yeah. Feel the funk, y'all. Yeah. Feel the funk, y'all. Yeah. You lay back in the cut. What's up? What's up? From Alpha to Omega, VHS to Beta, PlayStation to Sega, my skill is still greater. The sickest thing since VD, wicked like VG. Live my life crooked like the left finger on ET. Please believe me, this be the realest thing I ever wrote. Right after talking to Pac, puffing on heavy smoke. Laugh now, cry later. My only dream in life was to rock a mic up in front of you spectators and rock shell toes, not gators. Show love, not haters. I'm switching over like crossfaders to a better time and place where it's safe, and they can't judge a nigga by the color of his face, but by the content of the way that I spit these letters. I'm kicking it with white boys in old Navy sweaters, ball cap low on my eye, cause sometimes I'm listening to my style so much, I'm just trying to get by, I'm just saying. For real, I'm just saying.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you all out to a musical extravaganza called the Night and Day Project. Please save your applause to the end.
I'm in the AC, cooler than I ever was. I went from bubbling to a better buzz. Hey, check this, cuz I did it with no airplay. Wild out in the lot, well, that's hearsay. I'm just trying to do my thing, shine like a star. Skills in the place, banner, you know who we are. I'm Nike, that's Nate, you know K9. I already said my name, I just say the rhyme. Take it to the next level, beat him with a shovel. Dig his own grave for him, make him meet the devil. I play the villain, man, you can play the good fella. Nice guys finish last, you ain't even passed the class. Matter of fact, you ain't even studied for it. Rapping just your hobby, man, you trying to get some money for it? Yeah, I'm just setting the standard. They can't do what I do, man, and you can't stand it. Bring the hi-hat. It's what I call my bougie flow, man. It means I'm too funky, fresh, and fly to be hanging out with you lames. I can do this with my eyes closed and my hands tied behind my back, you dig? I used to do this for a living, now I just do it cause I love living. You don't hear me though. Hear me though. Hear me though. Hear me though. Hear me though.
is up, COPA fam? I am here with the homie, JJ Devaney.
What's going on, my man? How are you?
Post. STFU is back. We don't have Heath, we don't have Pat, but it doesn't matter. I got my homie, JJ.
It's good to be with you. It's been such a long time.
It's been a really long time, man.
How you been?
Was Was it before the World Cup?
It was before the World Cup. I had promises from Jack and Flores that I'd be back. We'd hang out. We'd do everything. But
I kept asking, hey, when's JJ coming back? And they kept pushing it off.
No, don't give me that. Nobody asked. I am the fill-in.
I may or may have just lied straight to your face.
Yeah, you did. I'm James Milner at Man City. I'm there and I'm used when I'm needed. But if you allow me to
every
play,
time you get
I'll
the
flourish.
call up, every time you get the
business.
call up, every time you get the call up, you're gonna perform.
I want to be here amongst you, but you got to give me the chance. Don't Pellegrini me.
Sometimes you got to do it. We're just jump right into it. Champions League is finally back. You're back. Champions League is back. It coincides. It's a wonderful day.
It's a brilliant day. It's a day where so much is happening, and it's the old familiar feelings. Although I don't know how you feel about it. I'm a bit thrown by the fact that there's games at when it's daylight. It's a bit weird.
Yeah, it is. I don't want the time to change. First off, I don't want it to be dark when I'm watching games. Right. But it's a little bit weird. It's weird that there was a lot going on. We were watching the games earlier. Like City was on, Juve was on, Real was on. Just so much going on. It almost had the World Cup feel. So you almost got like tricked into it.
You did, yeah. It brought back the familiar feelings from the summer. But the only thing is, I felt like I watched a lot today and saw nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like when there's all those games on, do you really
it's hard to focus. Really
get involved in it. You know.
I was super focused in on Juve. I had 3 eyes. Obviously, everyone knows that.
Sure.
2 eyes on Juve. Split the third eye on Real Madrid and City, so it's tough to concentrate sometimes.
Well, I looked at Juve because I know you're a massive Juventus fan and you want to talk about it.
Yeah,
but then I was looking at Roma, Real Madrid, and should I be watching that? You know, you get FOMO. It's like, what am I missing out on something? Should I be watching the other game?
Yeah. And it's like at a certain point you can record them and then go back and watch them, but that's just I need to have a life.
You're not doing that.
I need to have a life.
You're not doing that.
Let's talk a little bit about the action. Yesterday we had your boys. Liverpool beat PSG.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it, man?
Well, I feel great. I wore a Luton Town shirt today because I didn't want to come in and be that absolute homer. You know what I mean? Like just talking about my club.
I honestly thought you were going to come in wearing all red. With like a Mo Salah mask.
I thought about going full kit wanker, but I thought I wouldn't do it to you. No, it's one of those great feelings. It's where you've put to the sword one of these money teams, and it feels good. It always feels good. And by the way, it was pretty easy.
It looked really easy for them. It's interesting. PSG spent all that money on Mbappe and Neymar and just completely bypassed the midfield, and that's where they look super, super weak.
Yeah, I agree with you. And the fact that Marquinhos had to step into the center.
Yeah. They're using a converted central defender, and Angel Di Maria alongside Rabiot. And they got overrun completely.
And to be honest with you, I looked at the team again prior to coming on the show. I didn't even know Di Maria was playing. He was so anonymous.
Yeah.
But Liverpool, look, that's what Liverpool do to teams, the intensity. And if you've got someone like Neymar in the team, or dare I say it, Mbappe, you're going to struggle because that front three doesn't do what our front three does.
Yeah. Cavani's the only one you can trust to regularly track back.
He's got that Uruguayan work ethic.
Yeah. Neymar will do it if you have the right coach to tell him, but I don't think Thomas Tuchel's going to sit there and say, hey, Names, get on back, bud.
Yeah, and even when he does, he gives it away, as we saw in the lead up to the goal. What seemed like a long, inevitable lead up. Like, I know it was Mbappe at the end who slipped and allowed the goal from Firmino, but I mean, prior to that, Neymar just completely lost the ball, didn't decide to track back. It gets a corner, the ball's moved on. Yeah. But they're a farce of a team, let's be honest, PSG.
Give it to them.
Well,
give it to them.
I read a brilliant article by Jonathan Wilson in The Guardian, right, which kind of summed up all my thoughts about them. And the truth about it is that this isn't Tuchel's team yet. It's not even, as Jonathan Wilson said, a football team, in that you've got someone like Neymar who, I don't know what his role or his function is. Like, okay,
one more year until he goes to Madrid. That's what his function is.
Well, honestly, I don't think you can consider him now. Like, Ligue 1 is fine because you can get away with this kind of, doing nothing, because the teams are so poor and the standard's so poor, they're going to give up the ball. And in fact, when Liverpool gave up the ball, that was the only time they created a chance. You look at the Liverpool front three, they work and create turnovers to create their own chances. Like, look, the Mbappe goal was brilliant. The Neymar run was brilliant, but if Salah doesn't make that mistake, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Whereas Liverpool's front three forced those mistakes.
Yeah.
I don't know. They haven't changed from last season. They're not going to win the Champions League.
I'm 100% in agreement with that. Thiago Silva before the match said that PSG and Liverpool have the best forward lines in Europe. Do you agree?
No, for those very reasons. First of all, can you say that there's like, look at the way Salah, Mane, and Firmino link up. Like, can you say that there's anyone in that front three of Mbappe, Neymar, and Cavani that is, say, a Firmino guy? No. I mean, Neymar would be the creative force. He's not doing that. They're not in the same league. And by the way, if you look at Barcelona, if you look at Dembele, you look at Suarez and Messi, and even if one of those is injured and you slot Coutinho in there, that's still better for me, more cohesive than what PSG have. There's no plan to what PSG are doing.
I really like what you're saying here, JJ.
I know, I'm trashing
You're just
them.
really giving it to him. Sometimes you got to do it. Neymar predicted that Liverpool wouldn't finish in the top 4 in the Prem before the season. Do you feel like he might have a little bit of a change of heart after this?
Well, I'm glad he's thinking so much about the Premier League, and
clearly he's a huge fan and watches it all the time.
that could be the that could be the case, or he's got so much time in his hands while he blazes his way through League On. When he's playing against the mighty Troy, teams like that. Fine, he can say whatever he wants, but he wishes he was in a team like Liverpool right now. And by the way, he is talking trash about Liverpool's chances of finishing in the top 4. Leicester City away was a tougher game than PSG last night. I know it was a grandstand finish and Liverpool needed to pull it out of the fire a little bit. Leicester City gave us a tougher game, created more chances than PSG did.
I got a question for you. I talked a little bit about the possible Neymar to Real Madrid. That kind of feels like the next step for either him or Mbappe. Do you think Mbappe's leapfrogged Neymar?
Yeah, and I think it happened in the summer.
Yeah.
I think it happened in the summer. Mbappe kind of captured the imagination as this young phenom, which, look, the seasoned observer had already seen that season at Monaco in the Champions League. We knew who he was. But in terms of the international stage, he burst onto it. And he's kind of everything you want in a player. In a team that was very functional under Deschamps, he brought that flair to it.
Yeah.
And he won big, and he scored in the final. And Neymar was nowhere to be seen. Neymar was out versus Belgium. So he has made that leap for me. But do you know what he needs to do, though?
He was still rolling.
He was still rolling. He rolled all the way back to Brazil. But do you know what he needs to do, Aaron? He needs to leave League On. Like, seriously. And he needs to leave that mess of a club, PSG, because I don't know what they are. And he needs to really establish himself. A move to Juve, a move to Real Madrid is better for Mbappe. I still think Neymar...
Say that again, please.
A move to Juve. Why not? Ronaldo wouldn't like it, but why not?
Beautiful.
He needs to be in a team that understands what a team is, really.
And that has a structure, that has a locker
has a structure,
room, has a way.
Has a way of playing, has a manager.
Yeah.
Like Tuchel's great, but he can't have looked at last night and saw the way his team plays and thought, that is the way I was brought up at Dortmund. That is everything I want in a team. And I don't think Tuchel develops PSG while Neymar's there. I think he'd love to get rid of Neymar. He'd love to keep Mbappe, but I think Mbappe will probably both of them will end up moving.
Yeah. I think I thought that PSG was the logical and probably best step for him to go from Monaco because...
But why?
At the time, I thought it was a bigger move for him. He's going to be playing in the spotlight. PSG is a bigger club. I thought they were going to be more of a step up in professionalism, in pushing for trophies, and now it just looks like, man, he needs to go somewhere where there's actual structure.
I think
what I think would actually be really interesting for him?
Okay.
Like an Atletico Madrid, where he could learn some of that defensive work rate under Diego Simeone and still kind of have that freedom to attack and
I agree with you. I think there would be a structure there and he could do what he did for France. He could be that creative player and yet be within something that's solid and rigid and a football team or something resembling a football team. But at PSG, I think PSG can work. But I only think it can work when Neymar goes. I think if you said to Tuchel tomorrow, you're going to get a boatload of money and you're going to lose one of the biggest players in the world, he said, as long as it's not Mbappe, I can do this. I think Tuchel can mold Mbappe into the kind of player he wants. He can mold this team. He can't do it with Neymar. Yeah. That is just one massive self-indulgent passenger.
Yeah, it's really interesting because you look at Neymar at PSG, there's no one there to really keep him in check. Like, there's no one who's going to sit Neymar down and be like, hey, this is how we do things at PSG. I look at a similar kind of transfer, a big name transfer, Ronaldo to Juve. As much as he has raised the club's profile, Juve is a big club. But he can't necessarily walk in there and say, hey, everything is me. Like there's
I would say he did, but yeah.
Well, to a point, absolutely.
Right.
The team, he is now that brand.
Right.
But in terms of the locker room, in terms of the way that club is run, it's not Ronaldo FC.
No, it's probably
still
Chiellini or someone.
Right.
You know.
There's still a lot of structure in that locker room, the way that the club is run, that he can slide in and out of that. But Neymar now is like, for all intents and purposes, he is PSG. He and Mbappe, between the two of them now. And whether or not that's good is probably, I don't think it is.
I think it's bad. I think the board of PSG allowed that to happen, though. If you even see the way he was indulged last season, that is not how a functioning football team works. And you had it to the point where Cavani was walking out of the dressing room. He wasn't traveling on the team bus. There was on-field fights over penalties.
Yeah.
I mean, PSG allowed this to happen because ultimately the people who are running PSG are not football people. They are not.
They're businessmen.
They're
Oil
monarchs.
Men. They're oil men.
they're oil men. Yeah, right. I'm an oil man.
We got a comment from the Killer 67890. Never in my life have I seen a more overhyped team than PSG. They are up there for sure. I'm trying to think of. I can't think of like hyped teams off the top of my head, but like in recent memory, absolutely.
Like the Galacticos of the early 2000s were super hyped. And after 2002, did nothing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Beckham Galacticos didn't do anything.
And every season it was like, we got Michael Owen, we're gonna do this. We got Michael Owen and Ronaldo, we're gonna do this. I mean, look, even to like the point where it was the era of Robinho. I mean, what did they do?
I miss Robinho.
I've never heard anyone say that.
I miss when Robinho came from Brazil to Europe. And he was just, it was like early Neymar. Like he was the original Neymar, just like a tiny little man, just making defenders look so dumb on a regular basis. And he was so good for Real Madrid for a couple seasons. And then they binned him. And
gun to your head, who would you have? Peak Robinho or peak Neymar?
Peak Neymar.
But they're still the same kind of...
They're like in the same class to me. Like similarly built. Love to play for not just the end result, but to embarrass you.
But the personalities are the same kind of...
Kinda, yeah. Like that, really, like it's about the show. It's about the show, and I love that. There's not enough of that still left in the game. IMO.
Do you know what? Do you know what the show was last night? James Milner booting Neymar out over the sideline and getting the ball. That was beautiful.
That was like you know what was also fantastic? Watching Sadio Mane. The one time Neymar did track back and defend. Okay, he's never doing that again, by the way, because Sadio sent him for a sandwich with every single accoutrement you can ask for.
He sent him for the paper and the milk.
Yep.
And do you know what was funny though? It reminded me of, it was like Neymar. Do you know when your parents are like, do the dishes?
Yeah.
And you do the worst job possible so you never have to do it again.
Yeah.
That was Neymar.
That, I mean, in a nutshell, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where Neymar is in a nutshell.
In a nutshell, rolling down the hill.
In a glass case of emotion, you already know. Let's talk about Inter Spurs. This is a weird one for me because those are the two teams I hate most in the world, and I went through I hate Inter most, Spurs right next.
Not AC Milan.
No, I kind of have like an amicable hate with Milan, especially
not
recently.
Stoke City.
They're relegated now, so I don't even think about it.
Yeah, but remember all the trouble they used to give your Arsenal?
Yeah, they registered because I hated playing Stoke.
But not because of...
But not like as in any like historic hatred. Milan, yes, I dislike, but recently, no disrespect to Milan, it's been more of like a pity for that club. And Inter, I just hate. It's a very long story, but because of like the deep ties of Calciopoli and just I hate Inter as a club overall.
Okay.
And Spurs, obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah, come on. But
for such a nice guy,
I got a lot of hate deep down inside.
Yeah.
I mean.
you really do, and you come across as this charming man, but really you're a ticking time bomb.
It's a regular struggle for me not to just explode.
Yeah, I know.
No, but I really do hate those teams, and so it was hard for me to figure out like my emotions were just going up and down as the game went on because I think at first I was like I'm weirdly okay with Spurs beating Inter. And then they got the equalizer, and I was like, okay, this is probably best case scenario. And then Vecino scored, and that was what I really didn't want. I did not want Inter to pull that off. But then I get to enjoy many Spurs friends just being sad and devastated, which I love. I love to see pain in others.
Well, you're seeing pain right now because this isn't a pain they felt lately. It was the tumultuous season that had Tim Sherwood at the helm. That's the last time they lost 3 on the bounce.
Yeah.
And
there have been so many smiles and like joyous thoughts of the future under Pochettino, and I hate it. And now this is good.
Right, and I can see that. And this is the first kind of massive like kind of blip. But I would say this: they've still like what they've built under Pochettino. Put your hatred to one side. Is pretty good.
No. That's right. One of the biggest reasons that I hate them so much is because if you white labeled Spurs and took everything that if you took the crest, everything away, I would love them. I love the way they play. If Dele Alli was on my team, he's one of those players that I hate because he's not on my team and I just want to punch him in the face. But if he was on my team, I would love him and I'd be like, yeah, you guys want to punch him in the face because he's on my team.
Okay.
Christian Eriksen. There's way too many tweets of me just begging for him to come to Juve. Love Christian Eriksen. Harry Kane is a fantastic striker.
Right.
They have a lot of really good players.
So you recognize that as much as this brought you joy, it may be temporary. They'll probably get back to what they were.
They're probably going to be fine.
I would think so.
I just want Pochettino to leave.
Well, here's...
Get him out of there.
Can we look at it in an overall sense then, right? Why are they the way that they are in the last 3 games? What would you put it down to? Would you put it down to Dele being injured? Would you put it down to World Cup fatigue? What would you put it down to?
Yes, all of it.
All of this.
World Cup fatigue. They did not refresh that team in the summer. They had a bunch of players who were key for their teams in the World Cup who played so many minutes. Harry Kane just looks tired. He looks so tired.
And he should be. 63 games since the start
so
of last season.
Games. Yeah. I think you're asking too much of these guys. The fact that they didn't spend 1 cent.
Yeah.
And it's not like they promoted 2 or 3 youth players that are going to like rotate in. Excuse me. It doesn't make sense to me. I thought they have a great core, but every year I think in this modern game you have to refresh. You have to not only bring in extra players to bolster the squad, but like to foster competition. I know they brought in Lucas Moura in January. He's been very good so far, but come on.
I think I agree with you. And here's how I would lay it out. Like right now, don't panic, Spurs fans. There's no point going crazy. 5 games into the domestic season and your first game in the Champions League, which you were unlucky to lose.
Yeah.
But overall, it's as if there's like this disconnect between Pochettino and the building and the creation that he's doing at football level. Daniel Levy and Joe Lewis, the owner. By the way, why aren't people talking about the guy in the Bahamas that is the major owner of them, that the billionaire owner of the team or the majority shareholder or whatever he is? I'm not actually quite sure. But the point being is, I think they, at board level, ran before they could walk. Like, why, when football stadium revenue is not as important as it used to be, when corporate boxes don't bring you in the kind of revenue that they did in the mid-90s, or the mid-2000s, why do they have to have this stadium? Why did this have to happen now? Like, can you explain that to me? Like, why are you mortgaging your future football-wise? Like, surely that's the priority.
Right. It doesn't make sense to me. I also, in general, the rising trend of ticket prices going up and up and up, when we know how important a full stadium is for the viewing experience overall, and it just deprives the fan who's there of the experience. There's a lot there that just doesn't make sense.
But I think they could have
pushed that off.
Park the NFL plan, park the new stadium, and go and
just bitten off
go
way
and
too
fucking
much.
win something.
Yeah.
Like,
They've
seriously.
bitten off way too much. They've bitten off way too much.
I swore there. I'm sorry. You're a gentle flower. I didn't mean to do that.
I was gonna just ride past and act like it didn't even
No, it happened, guys. And if the SEC want to come after me,
they're gonna
you'll
get
protect
us.
me, right?
Yeah, I got plenty of hiding places, to be honest.
Good.
Let's go to a couple of the comments. FIFA Fortnite, Spurs will win the Champions League. Don't think that's correct. CR7 Galasso, Spurs will win the finish above Arsenal Cup this year. I do think that's correct.
Original. It's a nice one. It's a nice one.
Solid. The Killer 67890 again. When will the Spurs Stadium be finished?
Well, I don't know.
Never.
That's the point.
It was a picture of like a proposal a couple Spurs fans did in the stadium, and there's like beams, exposed beams, like all kinds of construction going on in that stadium. It's like, this is at least 17 years away from being completed. Write that down, probably 17 years.
17 years.
Simi Iliomade, so no one's gonna talk about how Aaron loves seeing pain in others. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Okay, bet.
Is he trying to suggest that this is some kind of sexual kink in you?
No, I think they're weirded out that I just enjoy seeing my friends in pain.
Yeah, I would be too. You don't actually enjoy it, like. Is that where Heath is right now, tied up?
No, not physical pain. I just like to see them in emotional distress.
Okay.
If you don't want to see your friends in emotional distress over sports, you're not really friends.
Please always insert that caveat about sports. Otherwise, you're going to get weird looks.
I thought we were just talking about sports here. I thought this was
it's a safe space for sports, but you need to state that generally. Like
that's very fair. Okay. I respect that. Let's talk a little bit more about the Campeones Liga de Campeones. Juventus beat Valencia 2-0, and early on, Cristiano Ronaldo got his first ever Champions League red card. Having seen the incident, how do you feel about it? As a neutral, complete neutral in this one.
He has 11 red cards now for his career, which seems like an awful lot, right? For him, does it not?
That is a lot, to be honest.
That's what I saw.
It does feel like a lot.
No, I can't remember.
Those are like holding mid numbers almost.
They really are, yeah. He's getting in. I mean, Roy Keane had 16. He's getting into Keane territory. That's a lot.
That is the hardest one of the hardest center mids ever. And
God,
Ronaldo.
I hope that stat's right. But that's what I saw. Yeah. But anyway, that's a side issue.
Is this a red card to you?
If you do it again, I'm going to knock you out. Here's the thing: if I do this to you, because I know you're kind of hair proud, like you'll be like, don't do it again. But it's not like
it's not like a red card.
But put ourselves on the field,
right?
That happens all the time. Now it might be a little.
It's different when it moves down, like the face. Yes,
that's a red card, right?
Now we have to fight, and it's a red card.
Right. But finger in the eye.
Yeah, like if it goes knuckle deep, like Roberto Firmino, that was gross.
Yeah, that was bad. As we saw in Copa America with Cavani.
I know you saw it. Get down in the comments. Talk to Stat Jack about Roberto Firmino in the eye. I want some good comments out of that one. That was gross.
So no fingers in the eye.
Yeah.
With Cavani in the Copa America, no fingers up the bum.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So all those.
How did he not fight him, by the way?
Oh my God, it was unbelievable.
I don't understand the level of composure that it takes to not fight a man when he puts his finger up your butt on the soccer field or anywhere else, honestly.
Well, let's be honest.
Depending on the situation.
If that's off the soccer field, that's violent sexual assault. That's not okay.
Literally. Yeah, that's in the laws.
I think it's bizarre. And but again, I mean, that bowled me over. This is still a pat in the head.
Yeah.
Now, has he had it coming from the World Cup?
Here's what Jack said. He's not allowed to talk on camera anymore. But he said Ronaldo deserved the red for all the reds he's escaped over the years, which, okay. Obviously in the rule of law doesn't work like that. But if we're talking karmic law, maybe he deserved it.
Right, karmic law. And Dermot Corrigan of ESPN, who covers La Liga, he tweeted pretty much the same thing, saying, I've seen Ronaldo get away with worse.
Listen, man, I've only been a Ronaldo fan since he signed for Juve.
Right, obviously. Yeah.
So I'm plenty willing to admit he probably deserved this one. But now he's on Juve. Come on.
He irks, or he used to irk me so much for United. He would step on the field and I'm like, send him off, get him off. The hatred was that strong.
He's spoken to the ref and like shaking his head.
What are you doing? Touching the ref.
Come on.
But no, that wasn't. I mean, if you're gonna, here's the thing. I think at the Mestalla, I don't know, because you have your TV on and you've got the sideline. What is it? Parabolic. So you got the, you're not sure how loud it is, but that place always seems very, very loud. And I'm wondering, did the referees who were the weird stand on the end of the line guy. Like,
what's his job?
I don't even know. But that guy's interjected
what would
twice.
you say you do here?
Yeah, what do you do here? I do the TPP reports. But no, seriously, he's interjected twice in the last 2 days with the Sturridge tackle, but without actually making any gestures, just putting his hand down, doing that. So I'm presuming he maybe just thought it was worse than it was, spoke to the referee, or maybe the crowd at the Mestalla influenced it, but I thought it was weird and unnecessary.
Question for you, commies. Does anyone know the UEFA Champions League appeal rules? How long they usually take, or how long it's supposed to take, and if it's possible to appeal it? Because I don't know. We were talking about this a little bit earlier.
Daniel Story tweeted from Football 365, he said that he will miss the comeback to Manchester for Juve, but I'm sure there's an appeals process at UEFA level. Whether that'll be executed in time, I don't know.
2 weeks till the next one. Some more comments. Guadalupe Zuniga, what's worse, Spurs as a whole, I guess, or Ronaldo's red card? It's a tough one for me. I'm in a tough spot here.
As a whole?
As a whole.
A singular incident of patting on the head
entity.
Or a club that's nearly over 100 years old.
You know, when you put it that way, I gotta go with Spurs.
They have a long legacy of awfulness in your mind.
Yeah. Okay. Ronaldo, only 6 red cards according to the hashtag stats from Jack.
That's still a lot.
He's been known to be wrong, so we'll double check that. C. Jamie 5137, congratulations CR7. You have more red cards than Messi in the UEFA Champions League.
Ray.
Another stat he's leading in. Or just a stat he's leading in. I don't know. We're not gonna get into this. Don't come for me, Messi/Ronaldo.
They're coming
fighters.
for you.
They
can hear them.
They just want to fight each other.
They have no interest in football, by the way.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all. Anyway, Sean Jones. I don't like Ronaldo, but that was soft. Okay, Stat Jack is coming up with a stat update. 6 straight reds, 4 double yellow reds, so that's 10. Again,
oh my God.
We're gonna have to double check those figures because.
Sorry. Like a red is a red. Okay, don't give me straight reds. Don't give me double yellows.
This is why we double check Jack.
Oh my God! But no, Jack's not wrong. But that is quite something. 6 straight reds for a winger.
Yeah.
He was a winger for most of his career.
There was a season in college, my junior year, I think, sophomore year. I got 3 reds in the season, and my coach called me into his office, and he goes, "Hey, bud." So that's how he talked.
Okay, I just thought you something in your throat.
That's how he talked. He's like, "Bud, we've never had this happen before. This is the first time. I don't really know how to deal with it." So he suspended me another game.
I've got a vision of a white man in his 60s with milk bottle legs and a baseball hat.
3 out of 4. He was in his 30s. Everything else was correct.
Wow.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
And you were a winger?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Striker, winger. I picked up a couple cards.
All right.
You know.
Your dark side coming out again.
Sometimes it comes out. Real Madrid, Roma. 3-0 for the Madridistas.
No idea what happened in this one, let's be honest.
Here's the thing. Gareth Bale has looked like a new man without a certain someone
glaring at him.
Possibly overshadowing him.
Yeah.
Yelling at him. Or not even yelling, just looking at him.
I've said this before, and I've probably said it here on COPA90. It was bullying in the workplace. He should have taken those glares to HR and said, "Look at the way he looks at me when I mishit a cross or don't pass to him."
Yeah.
So if he looks like a new man, I'll tell you something. He definitely looked like a new man in the UEFA Nations League against Ireland. I didn't see him today, but can only imagine that there probably is like a lighter mood around that dressing room now that Ronaldo's gone. And Mandzukic, who comes across as one of the hardest bastards ever to pull a jersey on, he got the glare today. Dude. He got the glare, the Ronaldo glare.
It's wild, right?
It is.
And Mandzukic is not
undermining.
High on the list of people I would throw that glare at. Not very high.
No, I wouldn't go near him with that.
I got during the World Cup when we were doing our like IG live streams, I got on the longest sidetrack ever because someone asked like who are the footballers you would least want to fight. Mandzukic is up there on that
definitely.
list. He's very high. A lot of those Eastern European players that have been through a lot.
Anybody from Serbia?
Yeah. Nemanja Matic, not Serbian, but
not touching him, not going near him.
No,
I wouldn't even go near Dzeko. I really wouldn't.
I was, when I first started for COPA90, literally the first day, shot with Juve in Boston, and Roma were actually in the same hotel we were staying in. Edin Dzeko and Raja Nainggolan get on the elevator that I'm on, and like Nainggolan, first of all, like these are my shoulders. His shoulders are about like that.
Yeah.
He's probably like that thick. He's a big dude.
Yeah.
Big dude. Legs probably about the size of my torso. I was like, all right, not saying anything to that man.
No.
And then I like look up, and Edin Dzeko is there, just a small tree, who's a big man. Those dudes. Dzeko is huge. He's massive. Like you see he's a big dude on the pitch, and then you stand beside him. It's like, okay, I see why defenders bounce off him and he just holds the ball up like it's nothing.
You see Nainggolan in a bar. If you saw Nainggolan in a bar,
you might see him often in a bar. To be honest.
You would
might see him this weekend.
You would see him with tattoos and an aggressive haircut, and you'd be like, okay, he's a cardboard hard man.
Yeah.
But you see Dzeko and you think just where he came from. That region alone seems like it's made out of steel.
Yeah.
I'm not going after anyone.
Yeah, you have to be of a certain mindset to make it out and make it.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's talk a little bit about Barcelona. Is it Messi's year? He got himself a hat trick. I think his free kicks at this point are basically just free throws.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, the lead up to the free kick, where he's placed the ball and he's concentrating. In that moment, he kind of looks like anybody else who's taking a free kick, right? Like he's in the zone.
Yeah.
But when he actually strikes the ball, he is like a man who is just signing a check.
It's wild, right?
He is like a man
It's the
who
most
is
casual
a
thing
waiter
ever.
who is putting a plate down.
That'll be way too much money, sir.
Yeah, exactly. It's like somebody who's flipping their, I don't know. I was going to say flip phone. No one does that anymore. What is another nonchalant thing? Flicking a light switch. It's the most
We'll do that.
basic kind of thing. You know when he hits it, it's going into the net. It's incredible.
I think it was Rakitic who said like sometimes they don't even watch because they know it's going in.
You know exactly where it's going. And like that one was like the side net.
Yeah.
Like the keeper made an attempt to dive, a poor attempt, albeit. But like it didn't matter.
It doesn't.
Just let it in.
Yeah.
You're better off saving the time.
Doing
Preparing yourself to pick the ball out of the net. Like get in the net.
What's better, like the desperate flail when you're nowhere close, or the
I think you got to flail, don't you?
Flail?
Because you're earning a paycheck.
It's true. You do have to pretend.
Five
like
aside,
at
you
least
can do that.
tried. Yeah.
And you can give the clap.
I feel like if you flail 9 times out of 10 when you do like that free kick is the one you can kind of like, oh God, there's nothing I can do about that. But you got to flail most of the time.
Do you know what, Aaron? The only thing about the flail is if you do the dive and the flail, you can roll around and you can be on your knees like
looking
this.
into the net away.
And you can do one of two things. You can go, or you can go as if it's someone else's fault.
There's also the third option that you
What's
can
the third?
bring out every once in a while when it's like, man, just like the impressed one, like, wow, that was Messi that did that.
Yeah, and you're trying to be friends with Messi, then and
Yeah.
afterwards you get a shirt. There you go.
You've been a keeper in Champions League before playing against.
I have indeed.
You already know.
I
how it
was a
goes.
keeper for Anzi Mashkashkala way back.
Wow, is that how you pronounce that?
No, it's not. But I'm halfway through one of these lovely Heinekens, sponsor of COPA90, and that's why I'm saying that.
That is actually amazing. Dembele, not Musa. There's so many Dembeles. Usman.
The one who didn't anger Brendan Rodgers.
This is big facts. Do we have that clip of him talking about his two-footedness by any chance?
Yeah, 1 second.
Yeah. Well, he scored a goal. He's finally back. He's got 5 goals in all competitions. And one of my favorite things about Ousmane Dembele is that he himself doesn't know if he's left or right-footed. Like, there's an interview that we're hopefully going to play from when he was at Rennes, and the reporter's like, oh, you scored with, I think, your left foot. And he's like,
Right.
yeah, I think I'm left-footed. They're like, but you shoot with your right foot, or you take penalties with
And
your
he
right
didn't
foot.
know.
Yeah, here it comes.
Vous êtes droitier ou gaucher?
Gaucher.
Sûr, parce que vous marquez aussi de droit.
Ouais, je suis plus gaucher.
Et les pénaltys, vous les tirez pas du droit?
Si.
Pourquoi?
Parce que je tire mieux du droit.
Yeah, I'm left-footed, but I shoot better with my right.
It's like someone asked him, were you out last night? No. I was at home, on the sofa. I was watching Netflix. It's fine. That is unbelievable. That is incredible because, let's be honest, most players, they're not coached to do both. Or are there, what coaches do now is, be strong on both sides. How should I do that, coach? Just do it. And you end up with a one-footed footballer.
Right, and especially with left-footed footballers.
Right.
so often, especially I was left-footed coming up. Like I was just told, be left-footed. You're a rare commodity. You're just a rare gem in this world. You're left-footed. Just be left-footed. And
that was the coach's that coach that you quoted earlier. Be left-footed, Aaron.
He told me to just stop doing things.
Oh, really?
But there are not very many like wonderful two-footed players in the world. You got a list of them? Your favorites?
No, I want you to do yours first.
I'll give you mine.
Because mine is I've got mine.
Okay. Before I start this, I want you guys to get down in the comments. Let me know your favorite two-footed players who are good with both feet. Mine, Zizou.
Okay.
Zinedine Zidane.
Wasn't bad.
Wasn't bad. Remember that Champions League volley with the left against Leverkusen?
Oh.
Decent. Original Ronaldo, the real Ronaldo. Incredible with both feet.
He was, particularly dribbling.
Yeah,
it was unbelievable.
Dribbling, you had zero idea which side he was going to go
No.
to. He could strike the ball from out of the box outside the box with his left foot. Cristiano Ronaldo, very good finisher with his left foot.
Yeah.
Hit some from outside the box as well.
And has worked on it.
Yeah, worked on it hard because he clearly was very much not two-footed when he first got to United, I think. Luis Figo, remember that guy? I think Luis Figo will go down as, or probably is now, one of the most underrated world-class players. You're not a Figo guy?
I'm a huge Figo guy, a massive Figo guy, and agree 100% with you. I was shaking my head because YouTube has done him a disservice. One of the great YouTube clips is John O'Shea nutmegging him in a Champions League game. That is just wrong.
Angry.
But if you got early Barcelona Figo, you want to see that, don't you? Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Not Figo the traitor, Barcelona Figo.
Before the pig's head Figo?
Oh, yeah. Pre-pig's head.
The last one on my list, Paolo Maldini. Got to give a shout out to the man who was a left side defender, but was right-footed, but you never knew because his left foot was impeccable. Impeccable.
That is very true. That is very true. And also, didn't he play when he went to centre half? He played left and right sided centre half.
Yeah. One of the, arguably the greatest defender of
and
all time.
eyes you could drown in.
Beautiful man. I wish Dash was here because he would probably talk about how beautiful Paolo Maldini is.
But I want to do that right now. Can we just talk for a second about it? Because
that's all about.
So when I was in school, there was this girl. I'm gonna name her. I'll just name her. What's wrong with it? Anya O'Hara. And Anya was beautiful, but Anya would always say Paolo Maldini was the best looking, guy ever. And of course, I'm like, I don't get it. I don't see it.
Yeah.
He's got the long hair, but those eyes. She said, look at his eyes.
Pierce
I looked at his eyes, it was over.
Pierce right through.
It was like looking at a White Walker's eyes. It was, they were so pale.
Unconfirmed, but I actually heard that they based the model of the White Walkers off Paolo Maldini.
Yeah,
Crazy.
And the physique as well. He was incredibly thin.
Crazy.
He never put weight on. Can I do mine?
Absolutely.
Okay, my list. Speaking of good looking, not. Andy Brema. Do you remember Andy Brema? He scored the winning penalty in Italia 90 for Germany, for West Germany, excuse me. And he took that penalty with his right foot. He took a penalty in the quarter-final against Argentina in '86 with his left foot. Huh? Okay. How about him?
I respect that.
Yeah, ugly man. Two-footed. Oh no, seriously. Like he was not
really two-footed. Ugly man.
Like, I mean, I'll put it to you this way. When Klinsmann was beside him at the bar, Klinsmann was getting the chicks, not Andy. Oh, Andy.
I respect that.
Santi Cazorla. Injury interrupted, but so comfortable on both sides. Like, really, really comfortable.
He almost made my list. I dropped him out for Paolo Maldini.
Fair enough.
Not a terrible person to drop him out for.
I think that's fair. Career resume-wise, that's good. I included Rui Costa, but let me say someone I left out who played left back and right back for Manchester United in those great teams in Fergie. That was Dennis Irwin, who could do it comfortably, like you said. Like you wouldn't know that he was predominantly right-footed. That's how good he was. But Rui Costa, here's where I made a huge mistake. So you know the way your mind plays tricks? I remembered Rui Costa as this beautifully balanced player, which he was, who could play with both feet, which he could dribble with both feet. Could I find a goal of him scoring with his left foot? Could I fuck? It was all with his right foot.
Right.
Everything was with his right foot.
I've seen him pass. I've seen him play some beautiful passes with his left foot.
Right.
I don't think I can ever remember him shooting ever with his left.
Which creates a huge problem.
Yeah,
for me, putting him on the list.
difficult,
And I
to be
swore
honest.
again, my God.
Sometimes it just be like that, man.
Just be myself. Be myself.
What are we talking about next? Let's talk a little bit about. We were talking about Barcelona. Ousmane Dembele is back.
Right.
Leo Messi is fantastic. I want to shout out Chucky Lozano, who even though PSV got everything pushed in. Chucky was dangerous. I really like him as a player. He's been really, really good this season. But Chucky was good.
Chucky was... Okay, here's where Chucky was bad. Can we do bad Chucky, good Chucky?
Yes.
Bad Chucky was that Dembele, let's be honest, when you slow it down, you break it down, with a fairly basic drag back, mugged him. Now, Chucky's a guy who's got skills for days.
Right.
He should realize that drag back is coming, and he didn't. He never.
You would think that with attacking players, you would think like because they're so good at
They'd be
attacking,
wired in.
they're like, yeah.
But he wasn't.
No.
And that was a basic drag back.
No.
But the finish was great by Dembele. It's nothing Chucky could do about that. Also, when Chucky runs into Umtiti, like Umtiti just comes out of the centre and Chucky's done him, and he knows he's done him, and he just stands there and then bang.
It's literally like in that time, because he had enough time to think about it.
Right.
He thought about what the next match was and was like, I don't want to make that trip. And then just stood in front of him.
Bang! And he gets the red. But it was like, you watch Wild E. Coyote. Do you remember when Wild E. Coyote be speeding along and all of a sudden a mountain would be there that was painted invisible by the Roadrunner?
Right.
It was like Wild E. Coyote hitting the mountain. He just went over.
I feel like the Roadrunner got a bad rap.
The Roadrunner was a dick, dude. The Wild E. Coyote put the time in.
Wait, did I say the Roadrunner?
Yeah.
I meant the Coyote.
Oh, no.
Sorry, the Coyote got a bad rap. The Roadrunner, that facetious little
Oh,
devil.
he was a turd.
I would
I
love
hated
to
the
just
guy.
punch him in the face.
No,
honestly.
because Wild E. Coyote, guess what he did? He went to Acme
worked
Industries.
hard.
He put the time in.
planned.
He did. He had all
had
these plans,
patience.
and all of a sudden, you can paint. The Roadrunner. We never see any evidence of preparation.
None of
Never
it.
see it.
He's just fast.
Yeah, and and the Roadrunner is fast, so he gets ahead, and he'll paint out a mountain with invisible paint. All right, fine. And the Coyote will slam into it. How's that fair?
Yeah, it feels like a lot of Deus Ex Machina, and I don't like it at all.
I don't like it at all.
It's kind of messed up if you ask me.
Team Coyote.
Team Coyote, man. Let's talk about one more member of Barcelona, and we can have a little discussion here. We'd like you guys to jump down in the comments and join us. First, before we do that, I want to hear some of these comments. We got Andrew Alvarez, what is this? What do we got? We got the UEFA disciplinary regulations from C. Jamie.
Oh, nice.
Decisions taken by the referee on the field of play are final and may not be reviewed. All right, so he's definitely
That's a
out for
timing
United.
thing. They don't want the process.
Gross.
Yeah, that's
I
gross.
hate that. Man City and Lyon next, please. Chucky is a good talent, but the Mexican fans said he'll bag 10-plus goals in the UCL this season. Bit much if you ask me.
He's not
I don't
getting
know
10.
who said he was going to bag 10-plus goals. That's a lot of goals in Champions League.
You know what? And he did a lot of talk as well beforehand about a potential move to Barcelona and how he would have liked it and how they had spoken to him or something vague like that. Don't do that. Don't do that before you're going to play them.
It's probably not
Get
the
about your
best
business,
idea,
score a goal out there.
Yeah, leave that till it's like you sign. And it's like, hey guys, they talked to me like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Isn't this cool?
Yeah, definitely. I didn't like that.
Yeah. All right. So to me, I got in a discussion with a few of my friends over this a couple days ago. Sergio Busquets. I hate him. I want this to be known. I hate him.
So much hate.
I
Who do you like?
But
your mom?
I
That's
think
it?
he is the most underrated center mid in the world. I think he is a fantastic player.
Okay, apart from your friend.
I can separate. So this is probably, I don't know if this is like I don't know if I have to explain it, but I can separate personal dislike for a player from my respect for what they do on the pitch.
Right, okay.
I do not like Sergio Busquets.
Okay.
I think he dives. I think he whines. I hate how he wears the huge shin guards that like you wore in the 1990s.
Being the fashionista that you are, you would hate it.
You know it.
Yeah.
But there's just a bunch of things that contribute to me disliking him as a whole. But purely on playing ability, I think he's probably still the best defensive midfielder in the world. Casemiro has an argument, depending on what you consider N'Golo Kante.
Okay.
But I think he's the most underrated center midfielder in the world. Do you have another to throw in there to oppose him? First, what are your thoughts on Busquets?
Well, first of all, that's off the top of my head. I don't. But
difficult
who is
thing to ask.
But who, apart from your mates down the bar, with a few beers in them, dude, he's underrated. He's underrated. Like apart from that, who's underrating him? Like seriously, I
get on this internet every day.
Give me a name. Okay. Well, don't forget, internet people are great. We're right on the internet now, but it's worth noting they do stick to like the kind of the golazzos and the big moments. He's not going to give you that. And that might feed into it.
I think that the argument came from, it was like a Busquets versus Conte argument. And then for some reason, someone was like, I don't think that Busquets is necessarily considered as highly. And I think a lot of people don't consider him necessarily at the top.
Well, airtime-wise, no one is talked more about than N'Golo Kanté. First of all, because he's a nice man, right? And so, again, all that stuff goes viral. And he's
il est petit, il est gentil.
That whole thing. He's also really, I mean, let's be honest, he's a very good player and he's won a World Cup.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about airtime and bandwidth, he's getting way more than Sergio, definitely. But Busquets he's the metronome, he sets tempo. But he also allows Rakitic,
I forgot the biggest reason
Coutinho to do what they need to do.
It was because of FIFA.
Rankings.
It was the passing thing. Harry Kane and Sergio Busquets are rated the same in passing, 79 out of 100, or out of 99 technically. And that, I think, is... Harry Kane's a good passer of the ball.
Right.
79 is probably a little generous, but okay, that's fine.
Okay.
But if you're going to say Sergio Busquets has the same passing ability as Harry Kane, then obviously it's a video game, but the discussion that happened behind that is what
came out of
this.
that. And you know what? Sergio Busquets, players right now are so into their FIFA ratings that they probably had the same conversation. All I would say is this. Don't heed that. Use the eyes. Use what you can see. He's a class player, man. He's top class. He's underrated by nobody with a brain. Also, what's his Audi player index rating? That's what I want to know.
Audi doesn't know what that is.
No, I don't know what it is either.
Let's keep it moving. Ramos and Griezmann. Antoine Griezmann, Sergio Ramos.
They got into a tete-a-tete.
They did. All right, I'm going to read you the comments from Antoine Griezmann. And he suggested that he sits at the same table as Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. We don't have to read the whole comment, but what do you think?
Oh, but we do.
We do. Let's
no. And let me say why we do. And this is the part of it that we have to read. So he told L'Equipe that he deserved to be in the top 3. And you think, oh, bold statement. Although not that bold considering he's a World Cup winner, but I digress. And then he looked back in comparison to 2016, and he said he finished 3rd behind Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi off the back of a European Championship and Champions League final heartbreak. So he didn't win either of those.
Right.
And he goes, that year I lost 2 final. This year I've won 3. So normally, if you've won 3, like he did, he should be more in the conversation. It's weird and a pity. This is a trophy that's awarded by FIFA, right? We won a World Cup and there's no Frenchman on the shortlist. That's the choice, but it's surprising. I don't think it's that bad. He expands it out. He gives his personal view and then he expands it out. There should be a Frenchman in it. I think Ramos, let's be honest, there's a changing of the guard, right? In Madrid, in the city itself. Yeah. Who is the next young person to come in and step into Ronaldo's shoes as the creative force? Is it Asensio? Is it Bale? Is it Griezmann? Those questions are happening right now. And Ramos, as the wily veteran, wants to stamp down on the opposition. That's all it is. And he's over-egged and he's overplayed what Griezmann said. By the way, Griezmann has every right, considering his trophy haul, to ask that.
Yeah. And do you think it's kind of that mindset where every athlete who's competing at that highest level thinks that they're the best, and you kind of have to think that way to be there?
I think that's a massive part of it. And also, it's something like what we said before. I don't think players have ever been more able to access their stats and how they do. And they've never bantered each other more back and forth in locker rooms amongst their own teammates as to who's better. Well, I got 79% passing, but your speed on FIFA is less or whatever. That actually feeds into things a lot. And we know this guy plays video games like there's no tomorrow. So he's aware of his standing in the game. And it's also a winner's mentality.
Yeah.
Like, it is a winner's mentality. And he's probably looking at his resume over the past 12 months and thought, maybe I should be in that conversation.
You got to. Let's talk a little bit about the young Americans who showed up in Champions.
Young Americans.
We should sing again.
No. Not enough.
Both Christian Pulisic on his birthday.
Yeah.
Was his birthday yesterday?
Yeah.
Pulisic got his goal. He was the youngest player to make the 100th appearance,
which was crazy, wasn't it?
This is wild, right?
Yeah.
Weston McKennie also got a goal in Champions League. What do you make of this young crop of U.S. youngsters?
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it a lot. It's interesting that people are always talking about, well, what does U.S. soccer need to do? Who does the manager need to be? Aaron, we've watched the game long enough. We're never put ourselves up as experts, but we've seen enough of the game to know you want players playing at the highest level, getting 90 minutes, getting appearances as much as possible.
Yeah.
So therefore, this is absolutely brilliant. This is really great. And it was so good to see that McKennie had the assist.
Yeah.
It just shows that he's not this sitting, holding defensive midfielder, that he can get forward.
Mm-hmm.
How important would that be as we move into the post-Bradley era? A guy who can do a little bit of both. It's brilliant. And Pulisic, we know we worry a little bit about playing time. We worry a little bit about fatigue and burnout and things like that. But on the face of it, after match day 1, this is a dream, really.
Yeah.
2 key players in key positions in the Champions League at good teams. Can't ask for more than that.
That's
Is there anything else to say about that, really? Like,
literally nothing. I was just about to say, like, you encapsulated it perfectly.
You should feel joy, right?
I mean, when you say things and I don't have to say them, then I feel joy.
This works great, doesn't it? I know, but honestly, like, seriously, I mean, when you looked back at a couple of years ago and you thought, oh, Bradley's moved back to MLS. No disrespect, it's not the same standard. It's not Champions League.
Yeah.
You looked at Dempsey, you thought, where are our key players going to be? Where are they coming from? And you thought Julian Green at Bayern Munich, that was going to be a big thing. Man. It was not. It was...
He had so much stress he lost his hairline, bro. It's wild.
That was low, man. Do you know what he did, though? He held on as long as he could.
He did.
He was doing the old, if I put it up high, no one's going to notice.
At some point,
And he looks
I'm
better
going to
with a
lose
shade,
mine.
right?
I'm just going to have to go bald, but
we're not there yet.
we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
We're in a good fit. We're in a
Plenty
good
of people
phase
hit
for
my
you.
hair, but I like it.
I like your hair. I think
Thank
it's
you,
great.
pal.
It's good. But Julian Green's hairline aside, I mean, we thought it would be him. His hairline went back, as did his career.
Yeah.
See what I did there. But the point being is that we were worried about where these players are going to be.
Yeah.
Cameron getting older in the Premier League. And now we have 2 players in the Champions League who are doing well. And maybe if Werder Bremen get things together and Josh Sargent begins to start, we'll have him.
Yeah.
This is what we want.
It's true. You're right. And you talked a little bit about Champions League. We've got our own version of the Campeones Cup. We have an explainer for the newest tournament. Do we have that here? Can we roll that? I don't want to explain it before.
Yeah, you
roll
don't
the
want me
explainer.
ruining the explainer.
MLS versus Liga MX, North America's showcase leagues. Over the years, these 2 leagues have battled for continental supremacy, and now this rivalry takes another major step forward. Major League Soccer and Liga MX have joined together to create the Campeones Cup, an annual event that pits the champion of MLS against the champion of Liga MX. For the inaugural match, 2017 MLS champion Toronto FC will take on the 2018 Campeón de Campeones champion Tigres, in a battle that encapsulates domestic league pride and unequivocally puts the best of Liga MX against the best of MLS. The Liga MX representative is decided from the Campeón de Campeones, an annual match between the Apertura and Clausura champions, while the MLS Cup champion will represent MLS. While the Campeón de Campeones final gives Liga MX another opportunity for a trophy, it's not seen as a priority in the eyes of Mexican teams. But now, thanks to Campeones Cup, it's put a new importance on their competition. It has also given the MLS Cup champion an opportunity to prove they are indeed the best team in North America. And the Campeones Cup is a one-off, winner-take-all match, and the answer to the prayers of fans throughout the continent. For years, there's been the unanswered question as to which domestic champion is actually the best team on the continent, with the CONCACAF Champions League rarely providing us with a clear-cut, head-to-head answer. With preseason MLS teams facing off against mid-season Liga MX teams, the outcome of CONCACAF Champions League has raised questions if the winner is indeed the best team in CONCACAF or just the most in form at the moment. But now, this match gives us fans the answer we have sought after for years. The borders of these leagues continue to fade, and in turn, it's created an avenue for club competition that's essential to the growth of soccer in North America. As MLS Commissioner Don Garber stated, our goal is to be working with Mexico to have our part of the world attract the attention of the rest of the football playing world. It shouldn't just be about Europe or South America. It should be about North America also. The creation of the Campeones Cup is a pivotal moment in the future of these leagues and of their rivalry. It's an opportunity for the league's best to fight for the pride of their continent. And after Wednesday, the champion of North America's champions will finally be crowned.
All right.
Well, that has me hyped for it.
8:30 Eastern time tonight, 2.5 hours.
I know.
Who do you have winning this one?
okay, I have Tigres winning it because if you look at the situation Toronto are in right now vis-a-vis playoffs in MLS, the exertions of this game and, what on paper is a kind of a cool and a neat thing to win.
Yeah.
Their distraction has got to be towards getting back into the playoffs because they've had such a hot fire of a season, conceding like 55 goals in 28 games.
Yeah, it's not good.
That's awful.
If you look at good and not good, that skews strongly
I
towards
actually
the not good side.
checked Webster's dictionary, and Michael Bradley's head was there. And across
You
the
hate to see
across
it.
the was
You hate to see it.
You do hate to see
hate
it.
to see
Believe me. But yeah, so I think Toronto are going to have one eye on trying to get back and claim MLS Cup. I also think timing-wise, this game, I'm actually, when I heard about this, I think it's a good idea.
It's a great idea that just win.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
the biggest issue
And is it at cross purposes with the CONCACAF Champions League? A little bit.
It's supposed to be a better determinant of the continent's winners because
It probably is.
It probably is, but it's still not perfect, right?
And it's like, at what time would you say in a league season does a team relinquish that league championship? Like when Mourinho's Chelsea, the following season after winning it, were like in the bottom half almost at Christmas.
Yeah.
You pretty much said they're not
Cash it in,
champions
yeah.
anymore.
Cash it
right.
in.
Toronto have been, hot garbage all season long. So, and Tigres are what, like 7th or 9th in Liga
Still
MX?
mid-table,
So
yeah.
are these even champions anymore? I
It's
don't
weird,
know.
right? Because like at a certain point, they're just not a chance.
Yeah, but I'm going to go with Tigres for this one.
Cool. I'm gonna. I think because of the reasons, because Toronto are in such a fight right now to try and make playoffs, this is not a focus. So
6 games left, man.
Yeah.
Like they've got to get
do or
3
die.
wins on the bounce.
It's really do or die. Yeah. That's gonna bring it to our final segment, Black Power Rankings. I'm just gonna go ahead and fire these off.
Please do. You are indeed a black man, so you should feel good about these rankings.
See, I feel very confident about them. Coming in at number 5. Ooh, Cameron died. Coming in at number 5. Coming in at number 5, we're back. Coming in at number 5 is going to be that man, Kylian Mbappe, got himself a goal. Yeah, because he got himself a goal.
Did he get himself out of Robertson's back pocket yet?
No, that's why he's in 5.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and not in 4 or 3 or 2.
I've misread the idea of the rankings. Sorry.
I'm putting him in 5 because I think he's saucy and he scored. So number 4 is going to be Maxwell Cornet, who netted himself a goal in Lyon's win over Man City.
He
today.
absolutely did.
And
we doff our cap to him.
We doff our cap.
We don't like City, do we?
Yeah, I don't hate them, but anyway.
That's not what I heard.
No,
you loved them. You loved them. You loved them. I'm sorry. He was embedded with them all preseason.
No,
he loves
I
them.
don't like the club, but I like so many other players.
Okay.
It's messed up.
Don't whisper it. Say it louder. I'm proud.
I like so many of their players, but I dislike them.
Oh my God! And he's gone.
I'm gonna get my power rankings and walk off.
I was there for I was there, by the way, for the Ford Apocalypse.
You
That
were
was
there.
unbelievable. Oh
Yeah.
my God. He tried to do it to me, and I was wearing jeans, and he couldn't do it. What does it say about you, sir?
I can't say most of the things I would love to say.
Yeah.
3, your boy, Studge. Danny Sturridge.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Got himself a goal, my guy.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for Danny Sturridge. He came back from that purgatory. He's back in the team, scoring goals, healthy for now. So Studge is in 3rd.
That's awesome.
2nd, Ousmane Dembele, also come back from injury, 5 goals this season. No one knows if he's left or right-footed. He doesn't know if he's left or right-footed. Scored an incredible goal against PSV yesterday. Big fan of that one. And then number 1, Bonlupo Pogba. Got a couple goals today.
Against the young men.
Against the young boys.
Young boys burn.
And
on a plastic pitch as well.
You want to know why I put him in 1st? Because he did it all wearing pink boots.
Which is amazing.
I want to hear your Black Power rankings. You've got 3 for us.
I have alternative Black Power rankings from a white
Are you
Irish
saying
guy. This is the privilege.
From my right, we've got the alt Power rankings.
Steady. And all of a sudden, my haircut doesn't look so friendly. Number 3, Tyler Roberts of Leeds United, 19-year-old Welshman.
Okay.
Bagged 2 for Bielsa's boys as they beat Preston 3-0 just last night.
Okay.
And one of the goals where he lobbed it over the goalkeeper, all the passes all the football that Barcelona played out from the back to do it. Leeds United, a team to watch as they stay top of the championship.
I have actually seen a few of their highlights, and they seem like a lot of fun to watch.
I don't know if they can sustain this throughout the season, but it's fun so far. And at number 2 in my alternative Black Power rankings, Joe Gomez overcoming an injury-interrupted start to life at Liverpool. You think about it, tore his ACL. People forget Brendan Rodgers signed him because he was a beautiful human being. He did, signed him in 2015. Okay. He was going to be the next big thing, and now he's become a mainstay at the back for Liverpool. He's
been fantastic.
He's kept out a World Cup finalist centre back.
Yeah, but to be fair, that centre back is Dejan Lovren.
Yeah, and that centre back may be imprisoned in Croatia, which will keep him out of pretty much everything.
Don't lie in court.
We don't know that he did, allegedly. Do you want
Don't
this?
allegedly lie in court.
There you go. And finally, at number 1 in the alternative Black Power rankings, Daniel Sturridge, on loan at West Brom, came off the field injured after... On loan at West Brom, right, in February, came off the field injured after only 4 minutes. When I saw that, I thought, he's not even going to play at the top level again. Never mind a red shirt in a Champions League opening game at Anfield against PSG. Yeah. Daniel Sturridge deserves so much respect because so many Liverpool fans who were very quiet yesterday were always saying, look, he's stealing a living. Stealing a living the last 2 seasons, which is absolute nonsense. When he's fit, he scores. That's why Klopp kept him round. I salute you, sir, as a man who has just read out Black Power rankings. Is that okay that I did that?
Maybe the best ending we could have had to this show. JJ, thank you again for joining us, man.
Man.
We got to give him one of these.
Oh, yeah. Oh, now we go. Look at that.
Guys, commies, thank you for joining us. Should we get some? Do we have any rapid fire? No, we don't.
Busquets is very sexy was a comment there.
I respect that. What is JJ's Audi player index? What's your Audi player index?
I actually have one. I hit 550 points playing in a game against a bunch of celebrities down at Chelsea Pier.
Sometimes you got to do it to them.
Yeah.
I respect that a lot.
Yeah, but I dropped very, very quickly afterwards after I fired one high and wide.
Only about the highest your Audi power player index?
Oh, the highest it got in that game was 500.
Sick.
But then again, this sprinter girl whose name I've forgotten, she was an American sprinter, also bobslayer. Oh, what's her name? I've forgotten. But she got 300, so maybe it's not so great.
Okay. All right. Well, that's going to do it. Commies, thank you guys once again for joining us. JJ, really appreciate you jumping in.
Thank you, man.
We will be back, I do believe, next week.
I won't be back because I only get invited when people are missing.
Not you. I'm not going to be back. I'm going to Europe, but I love you guys. Catch you next time.